Alright boys, welcome to Big J's David 10 YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, and then yep, cheers. We'll go on to how to make a precise and amazing project for our vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Give a round for Big J.
Big J.
Yes, we're going to do this vehicle over here. Let me just check that our recording's actually recording. Yep, cool. All right, so we're going to do this car over here. This is one I did from last year, and to save time, I've already started doing the 3D drawings. They're already working in the background, so hopefully when we finish our drawing today, I'm just going to show the pictures of this older one, because that takes like sometimes half an hour to be made. But you can do your new one, of course. So we're going to make this car, and I am approximating all the dimensions in this particular car. Based on the materials in the workshop. I have a ruler and some of the components in front of me. I just want the approximate size to be correct, which is also fine for you as well. For example, like these wheels, we're going to do some simpler details than the actual, what your actual wheels look like. So we're starting a new design. We are going to press this button in the top left-hand corner. We're going to press File. We're going to press New Design. The first thing we're going to do, because this is your second project, or some of you, this is your second drawing you've done on Fusion. So we're going to start labeling it to be correct. Up here at the top, where it says Untitled, we're going to double tap. Did we do that? No. Okay, so we're going to go to Save. And when we save it, the first we're going to have the Save menu over here, a name, and the name we're going to pick this. We'll pick this 2025 9 ENT, is it Y? Z. 9 ENTZ, DragCar. And for me, I have multiple things, areas where I've saved stuff for my students' works. You might want to pick one for this particular class, or you can pick one for engineering. This could be useful if you're going to use the same Fusion account later after you finish school, maybe at university, because I think you can, well, if you're in uni, you can keep applying for Fusion as well, or even if you downgrade from an educational license to a personal license, you can still keep your database of all your past designs over here. As a reference. So maybe you think like, how did I do this particular curve in my design back in 2025? You can look at it. For me, this is stage 5 engineering, which is you guys. And we'll do that. And I'm picking that as the location, and that's the name. And I press save. So the drag car's over here, it's saved. When we start the car, how I would like to do it is I'm going to start with the base, which we know the base is made out of core flutes. So we're going to do our sketch. I'm going to sketch this plane over here. The approximate dimensions, remember what the approximate dimensions of the standard board? I think it was like 200 by 100 millimeters. So when we do our sketches, we can do our lines, but we can also use some simpler tools. We know if I'm going to approximate it as a rectangle, I'm going to pick the 2-point rectangle over here, which I can either press that button or I can press the letter R, and it's going to default to do the rectangle command. It's saying here in the center on the reticle, it's saying place the first corner. I'm going to place the very first corner here in the center of my drawing. And then I have the 2 boxes where I'm going to put those dimensions. So for my height, let's say I want this to be 100. That's 100 millimeters. I press tab and I've highlighted the other box. This box will be 200 millimeters. And I press enter. And that's the 2D version of our core flute. And if I press finish sketch, wonderful. Let's look at this in 3D. We know it's not 3D, this is just a 2D shape. And remember when we're doing our towers that if this comes into a bluish color, that means it's a closed surface. And a closed surface means we can turn this 2D shape into a 3D shape. If you did your 4 lines manually and you didn't connect them, it's not a closed surface, it won't have a blue, and we can't turn that into 3D because it's not like a solid 2D shape. To make this into 3D now, we can press the extrude and it's automatically selected our last shape, but if for some reason we have multiple shapes, we're going to use the profile tool and we're going to select it. The thickness of our core flute, I'm looking at the example piece we have here. I think it's about 6 mil, right? Okay. So under here for distance, we're going to make this 6. And then we'll press enter, and that is our piece of core flute. But what is the difference between this piece of core flute and the one that you're given in class? What are some differences? Anybody? Yes. There's no holes. Yeah. What else? Yes. That's yeah. It's the color is also incorrect. We can change the material, and we can also change the color, and we are going to add the holes. We'll do all those three things. We'll do the color. We'll do the holes first. I think we'll do the holes first, and then we'll change the color, and then we'll change the material. We can change all three of those things. So to do the holes, we're going to... Fusion works by, we have something and we're making one change at a time to our particular object. So we've made it 2D, and then we made it 3D, and now we're going to make the holes. So to make the holes, we're going to create a sketch. We're going to sketch on the side over here, and we want to make these, we want to make little holes into here to match our particular piece of core flute. How I like to do this is, basically we're going to do something like a little rectangle inside here, and we're going to cut out these particular holes. Right, that's basically what we want to do. For the size of this, for this particular square, we need to know the exact, we need to know this exact size. So what I'm going to do is, if we're going to look at the dimensions, we want to see what the distance between this and this is. That's the thickness of like the plastic that we have here. So I'm measuring my piece. It looks, wow, it's way smaller than a millimeter. It's about, let's say it's about 0.25. So I'm going to press 0.25 here, and what that's done is it's moved up my rectangle a little bit higher. And I can do the same thing down here. I can go click here and click there. And for my dimension, I think I can either type in 0.25, or I know I want this dimension over here to be the same as this one. So when this is highlighted, I think I can click this, and what it's saying, whatever dimension I have here, I want that to match. Okay? And I press enter. Done. Then what I can do is I can go sketch dimension. Well, what is this dimension? Tell me this dimension, please. And it's saying, well, this dimension, you don't actually have a choice of this dimension, because that dimension is already a forced size. Because our thing is 5 millimeters thick, and we said 0.25 from the top, 0.25 from the bottom, we don't have a choice for that middle dimension, which what it's saying here is an over-constrained sketch. So we're going to create a driven dimension. Create driven dimension. So ways we know this is a driven dimension is it has brackets around it. The reason why we want this to be a driven dimension is because we want this square to also match, to make all the things look correct. So we pick this thing, this dimension, we can say we want that to be the same as that, and we press enter, bam. So now this square, it's a square shape and it has those dimensions. So cool. Now if I just did this in our design, it's going to be one particular square. We're going to have to do this multiple times. I'm just going to hide this. We're going to have to do this multiple times. So I can draw those squares and I can get all those dimensions. But we remember from our previous tower that we're going to use the pattern tool. We're going to use the rectangular pattern tool. I believe when we did the tower, you may have done the circular pattern. We're going to do the rectangular pattern instead. Rectangular pattern. We're going to select these objects. 1, 2, 3. And now we have to press this fourth one because it's kind of hidden because it's in line with the other one. And then we have those 4 selected. Now we can confirm over here in the top right, I've selected 4. When you select the one on the side, make sure you select the smaller length. You don't want to get these 2 parts at the top. Just this length. So all the 4 parts of the square. We'll drag it over here. And it's going to be copies over there. When we are making this, and we're obviously going to need more copies, so we can change the quantity we want. Let's just do 10 for now. Shh. So as I do 10, I'll repeat this. I'll pause it and I'll repeat this part for you guys. As I increase it to 10, do you see here how they're overlapping? Right? When I'm doing my distribution, I get multiple options. I get the choice of either the extent, which is saying for whatever distance, put all those copies inside that distance, or I can say I want to do it by spacing. So I want them all to be the same distance apart. I'm going to pick spacing. And what spacing does is I pick the distance that I want these squares to be. So when I pick this distance, the distance I'm going to pick is, I'm going to pick 5.5 is how long the square is, but then I also want that little gap in between it. So I'm going to do 5.5 plus 0.25. And we see I have that little gap there. Is that showing on your projector? Can you see this part of the square showing up? And then all I have to do now is I just have to keep increasing this number. Right? I have to just increase in this number until I get enough till it goes all the way to the end of my. Right, and it doesn't matter that it's overlapping, that's perfectly fine. And then when I press OK, we now have all those individual squares. So I'll pause the video now and I'll repeat. Actually, I'll repeat on the video, it's fine. So I have this over here. I'll delete this and I'll do it again. So we're ready to watch for a second time? Yes, so let's say I don't actually like this. I can press Control-Z, obviously, because it's Fusion 360. You have these options over here to undo. I have this part of the sketch. I have these 4 lines. Are we up to that point? Do we all have that square? Do you have that square shape? Oh, rip. We're on the side. We're on the side.
So it's the front. It is the front. It's still a 2D shape.
What do you mean it's still a 2D shape? Alright, we're unpaused. I'll show this part again with the rectangle because previously you've done rectangles where when you do the rectangles, previously you've done rectangles where you do the rectangle and before you click it, you put in the dimensions there. So you write 5 and 3.5, right? That's previously how we've done rectangles. This time instead, we want the rectangle to be based on the material that we're working on. So for this one, instead, we're going to make the rectangle, pick any rectangle that's inside our piece of base that we have there. Notice as I made that, there's no dimensions here, but there is this symbol. This symbol means parallel, right? So it's a rectangle because opposite sides are parallel. That's all we need to know, right? When we're doing this dimension, I can make it like this previous one here. I can press sketch dimension and I could just bring this out here and then I can make that whatever length I want. I could say I want this to be 4 and then press enter and it'll be exactly 4. But I don't want that. What I want to do is I want to make the thickness of the plastic of my core flute. So I'm going to press sketch dimension. I'm going to press this top line of the rectangle and the top of the core flute. And when I drag this out over here, now I'm saying what length I want that to be. That's what I want to be 0.25. 0.25. And I press enter, and that is going to be 0.25 from the top. When I do the bottom piece, I'm going to click this bottom line, and I'm going to click the base. And it says, hey, yeah, there's a dimension here. I'll just drag this out here. I could write 0.25 in there again. 0.25. I could do that, or I can actually click a previous dimension that's in the same sketch. So I say, actually make it the same as this one, right? Why am I doing that? Because if I then decide, actually, I want to change this over here. I want to change this to 0.3, right? Look what happens. Both sides change. So as I'm changing my drawing, I might determine how thick I actually want it to be. 0.25. Cool. Then I want it to be say I want the same thickness over here as well. There we go, we'll do that. And then the length now, right? I want this to be a square shape, so I'm going to, for this length, I want to do, all right, tell me from here to here, right? I want this length to be, well, the core flute is 6, so it's going to be 6 millimeters minus this original length over here.
What the hell are you?
Right? And that 5.75, that should give us the rectangle shape. You can put a function in, yeah. You can put a maths equation.
So you make a rectangle, and then with the sketch dimension, you get the top layer, and then the top of the square layer, and then you write 0.25. Yeah, I got it. Why is my laptop like this?
Are we cooking? Do we have the square?
I did the top 0.25, right?
Yes.
When I did a 0.25 on the bottom part, the width of the rectangle becomes 0.25.
Oh, you just selected that one length. You got to press that and the base.
Yeah.
You just selected one.
So I selected like two.
No.
So I did this thing here, and then I got 0.25.
Now, see, what you did is you just selected how just selected that, right? And you were doing this shape. But instead,
Jeremy says Mark. LeBron says Mark.
Doing good right now.
means because the other two is forcing the middle dimension because it can't be any other answer. Hey.
That come out with
Gonna get demonetized. You got it? Hey! Yeah, I'll just wait.
Well, see how it says FX, that means this is being pulled from another.
How do you do that repeating media?
Create. Regular pattern. I think you do something out of it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Oh, right, rectangle.
Yeah, rectangle.
Don't sketch it.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yes, brother, this is the waiting. Oh, let's go. I did it, boys, right now.
Wait, should the spacing be 0.25?
Yeah.
Cameraman,
I can play that.
oh, it's cool.
what's the point of going to it if you just want to play that?
I'm not gonna just play my I'm just saying I can.
Just
Thank you. Alright, everybody look at the board, please. I'm going to show the problem. Everybody look at the board, please. I'm going to show a problem that multiple students are having. So, when I was doing it here, I'm recording, right? Yeah. When I was over here, I can click this line and I can click that line, right? Some of you are having the issue that you can't actually click this top line up here. Is that correct? At least 2 students have had that issue, right? So here's the reason you're doing that. I think I've got to undo all this and do it again for a third time. Here is the issue. Shh. Quiet, because if you'll definitely get into this problem later, right? If you didn't run into it now. Shh. Quiet. So some of you are doing your sketching, right? You're going sketching, and you're pressing this over here. You're pressing this origin over here. So what that means is, see over here, this plane over here, you're sketching on that plane, which is fine. You're doing that 2D sketch. But what that means is, whatever you're sketching on, Fusion is only going to get the values that are on that drawing object. So if I was to click this sketching plane over here, and if I click that, I can't actually attach to this line. This line doesn't exist in my drawing. If I try to get this, it's not, oh, for my one it is, but depending on your drawing, that line might not exist on your drawing. So what you have to do, when we are doing a sketch, and we know we want to use the dimensions of this object, if we want to use it, there's two ways we can do it. One, we can physically select, make sure we're selecting that actual surface to do the sketching on. We have a limitation. It has to be a flat surface. That's the only limitation. Curves won't work. So if it's a flat surface, so how we're going to do that is we're going to press sketching, and then when we want to make sure when we highlight, see how that whole surface is highlighted. The whole surface is highlighted. This might be something that's easier if you're viewing the object in 3D. So press the home button up here, and you can visually see we've selected the whole surface. If I selected the plane here, that surface might not be included in my drawing.
Can you just press start on the 3D box on the top right corner? Can you press start?
Front, okay, yeah. Yeah, but visually, sometimes it's difficult to see if you're highlighting this or if you're highlighting that. Okay. So I do like to do it, because once you select it, watch what happens. It's going to align. It's going to do the view in that direction. So you select that and you go to that view. But let's say this might be a complicated drawing and we can't actually select the face, or it could be curved, especially when we do like our motor. That's going to be a nice curved surface. So let's say I'm doing this face over here. Notice how it already lined up in the direction we want. And I know this is an object that I want to include in my drawing. The other option we can do is we can go to Create. We could use Project/Include, where we're telling Fusion, hey, I have some other detail here that I want to use that dimensions for my drawing. So we project and include. I do this, and I can do the project button, press the project button, and then select the body. Well, this body over here, if I highlight it, it has all those red lines. That means, hey, this body, I want you to use these details in my sketch. So I click that, and then you press Enter. Now, make sure you press the bodies and not the specific entities, because we're dealing with a body here, which is a 3D a body is a 3D object. And as soon as I press OK, what we'll see here, and I'm going to show this by hiding the body, we see here we have purple lines. Purple lines in Fusion means that these are lines produced by something outside our sketch. Those are the two ways they're the easiest ways to fix this issue. So now we have that. You should be able to do your rectangle thing. All right, we'll just do a rectangle. Again, we'll do this dimension up here. We want this dimension to be 0.25.
We got paid. Like, it wasn't even that much. And they were like holding each other's heads. Let me show you.
All right, you got the square. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do the rectangular pattern. Shh, quiet. Stop talking about the other videos. Only my videos on my YouTube, please. Thank you. Thank you. We wanted to be by spacing, and did we already determine the spacing we wanted was... if we actually just pick 6 mils... 6 mils, and the amount that we're doing is... Do you remember the number from last time? Was it like 30? No, it can't be 0. Oh, no.
So after you press create, and then rectangular pattern, what do you do?
So I'll do the pattern again. Alright, so the pattern creates rectangular pattern. We select the 4 lengths that we want. So how I like to do it now, before we do anything else, we'll do the arrow. We want to do the direction that we want the pattern to go in. And then you select spacing. The distance should be 6 mil. Because remember, we already did this top to be, should be perfectly aligned for 6 mil.
So the only should have one direction, right?
Yes.
One direction highlighted.
Yes.
And then you do spacing.
Yep.
The quantity is 31.
No, it's if you followed all my dimensions, you want 34. It's under creates, and it's down there, yeah.
Do I press OK?
Does it look like what you want? Does it look like this?
Yeah.
Then you can just press OK, yeah.
What the hell? It's the opposite way. It went downwards. I literally highlighted the...
Bruh.
Wait, is that the hole?
I literally highlighted the arrow going downwards. Let's redo. Create.
It takes like 2 seconds. Wait, so what's the distance between them?
I did 6 millimeters because the rectangles should be 5.75 plus the 0.25, that equals 6. Because what this is doing is we want this length to look the same as this length, because that's how our core flute looks like.
Yeah, like this, right?
Cold, yeah.
Sigma.
Select the size.
Oh my god. So why does it fit 34?
Yes, I'll go 33.
I can set my notes
You closed the sketch, didn't you? So this sketch, we want to edit the sketch. So you have to do it in the sketch. So now you can select it. Alright, I'll pause the video and give you 2 minutes to catch up. Alright, so we've done our sketches. At this point, you've done the finished sketch. And so if we press down over here, we should see how many sketches we have active. We should have... How many sketches should we have, actually? Oh, can you shut the door so we don't hear noise? We have the sketch we just did with the squares. I don't even know what these are. I think these are ones we did that I undid as I was showing you how to do this again. So we have these squares, and we're going to extrude them to, oh, sorry, I've hidden the body, that's right. Sorry. So now we want to make these holes. There are a few ways we can do it. There's the slow way and there's the fast way. But I'll teach you both methods. So, because every time you do something different in Fusion, one method will be better or worse for you depending on what you want to do. So remember, Fusion is an additive software. And what additives means is we have an object and we're going to make a change to it every time. Additive doesn't always mean we have to add stuff as in make more. Add, we can sometimes remove stuff, still counts as an add. We're just like adding a negative. So we're going to press extrude, and this hole over here, if I select this face, right? Obviously, if I drag this out for the extrude, it's going to come out. And if we look over here in operation, it says join. But if I go backwards, see how it's red? It's a cut feature, so it's going to be removing. And I can actually drag this all the way through. And then if I press OK on there, yeah, there's the hole that we wanted. Right? But we have some problems with this. All the other squares have disappeared. Fusion by default, once you use a sketch, it tries to hide it for you. So what we're going to do is we open the panel and we unhide that sketch where all the other squares are there. So what we can do an extrude function. We can press every single square. We can go make the hole. All right, we can do that, and then we can press OK. But then once you've unhid the sketch once, it will say, oh, you want to keep using this sketch, and we can do that. That's the slowest method. All right, I'll press undo twice. The medium method to do this is we're going to press extrude, and we can select one, not that face, nope. I'll actually hide this sketch. We can select the face, and we can actually select each individual face. All right? And if we remember, do you remember how many copies we made of this square? Yes, if I go all the way through, there should be 35. This is the medium timed version because when I do them all and I press back, cool, and they'll all be done, right? I could do it that way. That's the medium difficulty. Now the fastest method, right, the speed run, core fluid at any %. We actually have an outside surface as well. If I zoom in and if I bring my mouse over it, I want just, see how just this outside part is highlighted? I'll press that. Now you see that's just the outside part. Now we know if I extrude this, right, if I extrude this, sure, it's going to make a shape looking like this, right? Which, hey, that does look like our core fluid. That's good, but we want to make it from the original core fluid. If I do backwards here, right, what it's actually going to leave us is just the inside tubes, which is the opposite of what we want. So instead of using the cut feature, we're going to use the intersect feature. So saying this part that we just made, find where they are overlapping. So if I press the intersect feature, and the join color is, I think, blue, or it's the object, whatever the color of the object is. The cut color is red. The intersect part is yellow. And so now if I press enter, or so if I press OK, boom. Right, we get that nice looking, hold on, let me do the meme. Nice. We have that corner here that we want, right?
Okay, so you press.
So, mine's like really glitchy.
Okay, we've done the holes. The other two things, we have to change the color and we have to change the material. So what we're going to do is we will change the color first. Over here we have the body. Now I'm actually going to rename this body. If I keep clicking it like 3 or 4 times, eventually it's going to let me type this text in here. And I'm going to call this the, what word do I like? Chassis is a car term, but I can call this the base. You just call it the base. Honestly, I don't know how to spell chassis. Core flute, that's a good point. Core flute. I think so. So it's now called base core flute. Cool. We can right click this and we can say appearance. Now once we do appearance, it's going to load up this little library on the side. Let me confirm I'm recording. Recording. Okay. What color is our core flutes? White. And it's a plastic, right? Sure. If I type in white in the library, it actually has a bunch of material here that are white. So ABS is a plastic, acetyl resin is a plastic, there's fabric, granite, nylon, polystyrene. Yeah, I don't know. In general terms, ABS plastic is a general good plastic for us to pick. So ABS plastic, how you do this in Fusion, the first time you import a color, it's got to download it. So it could take some time. So what I like to do is, I think you can drag the color up here. And then you can actually just drag this onto the object. And then it's white.
Oh, I understand.
Then what you can also do, this is just changing the appearance. If I actually right click this body, right click and look at the details or properties over here. Cool. The appearance is ABS white, but the material is steel, which matters when we're trying to calculate like the weight, because we can approximate our weights. It's assuming this is steel, this is going to weigh 105 grams. There's no way when you're holding it, it's 105 grams. So how we do that is we're going to right click and we're going to say physical material. And similar for this, when it loads up, I think it's a bit slower, right? Physical material, it's got more data for those physical materials, it takes more time. So for here, we don't actually care about the color, right? We just care about the material because red plastic weighs the same as white plastic. So we've got to find the material. So we'll go under plastics, and over here, like ABS plastic, sure. It's going to give us an approximation about the plastic, and then we press close. Now, when you apply the material, it's going to preference that first. So we'll have to change our appearance again. Because if we go over here, we've got properties now. Oh, ABS plastic and ABS white. Oh, might be fine. Sometimes applying the material might change your color again. So just flip it around, do the material first, and then the color. But now if we look at the weight of our core flutes, it's approximating it to 15 grams, which is more accurate. Close, it's closer to our actual piece.
How do you find these properties?
So we look at the body, which is the body that we named here base core flute. We right click this and we press properties. Okay, at this point, I would like you all to save your Fusion, please. Save.
Why does it keep selecting like the whole thing?
Because the whole thing's one material. Hold on, let me pause and have a look. Okay, we have the base, now we're going to do the wheel. You've saved your work. Periodically save, actually, you press the save button up here. Up here. Looks like a floppy disk. Because Fusion is a cloud-based thing, so when you save, it's going to upload it to Fusion. So in case, especially if your computer's going to go low on battery.
So I can't save it.
Why?
It says Fusion is synchronizing the data with cloud storage. Please try again in the
Yeah, it's saving right now.
Oh, it might be saving right now. Okay, so when we're doing the wheel, I'm going to hide. Quiet. Boys, that's enough. We're going to hide this because I don't want this to interfere with our drawings. And I've hidden all the sketches, so it almost looks like we're starting from scratch. We're going to make the wheel, and we're going to make the wheel in the center, and then we'll move it around to where we want it to be. So the wheel, we are going to make the wheel using a shape, and we're going to use another tool to turn a 2D shape into like a cylinder, right? We're going to use a revolutionary tool here called Revolve. Thank you.
So you just make the green tab.
No, you're going to go and you're going to hide the body. So to hide it, you hover over it and you press the I. Now make sure you hide just the base, not the bodies. Right? So we're going to press sketch. I would like you to press this. Press this over here. Now for this one, just follow my dimensions because then later you can measure it yourself. So what I'm measuring is I'm measuring the width of the wheel, and I see the width of the wheel is 20 millimeters thick. So again, I'm going to make a rectangle. I'm going to click here, 20 millimeters thick. So this one is 20. And I'm just going to do the radius. Oh, no, hold on, I'm not going to do the radius. I'm going to do the diameter. The diameter is 51. So 51 is the diameter. So what's the radius going to be?
51. I mean 25.5.
Ah, that sounds like maths. I'm just going to press divided by 2. Whoa, big brain. All right, Fusion lets you do that. You can just...
20
millimeters. Yes. 20 millimeters by 51 divided by 2. Right? Then I'm going to press OK. OK.
So I get a rectangle out.
Yeah, you got a rectangle. Then we're going to press the Revolve tool. What Revolve means, you get a particular shape and you pick an axis and you spin it around that axis. So press Revolve, select that shape. The axis, so I've selected it over here. 1 is selected, correct. For axis, I need an axis to revolve around. Now you have a few options here. Because we did this in the middle, we could actually press our Cartesian coordinate axes, or you can pick any straight line, can also be an axis. I think we can press this line over here at the bottom, and ooh, look at that. That's our wheel. You have some options. You don't have to do the full revolve. For like, maybe you have some other design, you can sometimes do that, and that's like, you know, it looks like the front of a helicopter maybe. But for our particular wheel, we want it to be 360, so we're just going to rotate this all around. 360, and then we press enter, and that's basically the start of our wheel. Okay, but we're going to make our wheel look better than this, honestly, because this is looking kind of meh. Then our wheel, how thick is the rims on our wheel? The rims on our wheel are 5 millimeters. Okay. So do we all have this disc? We have this Oreo cookie over here on our screen.
What the hell? So on the first one, the thing is 20.
Revolve it by, pick the line at the bottom of the rectangle. I think you revolved it by another axis.
So 20, right? Click what? I can't. Jesus Christ, I hate math. On basket here, I should put guard.
So, what's the difference between that wheel and this wheel? Yeah, this one looks crap, right? This one looks nice. So yeah, we're going to make the outside and the inside, we're going to make it 2 different objects, so then we can change the color and the material properties and that stuff. So I'm going to go sketch, and I want to make sure I'm actually highlighted the circle this time. I don't want to press over here, this face. I want to highlight this whole circle. Highlight the whole circle. Click it. I want to make the outside is like a black tire, you know, for the people on the stream or the video. Options I can do, I can go over here, I can press the make a circle command, I can press in the middle, and I can do that. Sure. Another option, I may as well show you another command as well. We can also use the offset command. Offset, I can press this original line over here, and what this will let me do is it will do another line that's it's sort of like perpendicular or sort of like parallel, but it's like make a line that's the same distance apart the whole time. Yeah, so I'm going to press -5, and that means it's going to make a line that's 5 millimeters inside from that line we just made. And I press OK, and then I'm going to finish that sketch, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Extrude. I'm going to click this,
Get the thing out of here.
Get out of here. Get. But, so we were going to delete it, but we're not because we do need the inside of the wheel as well. We do need the inside of the wheel. So what we're going to do is instead of cut, join, or intersect, we are going to press new body. New body, and then we'll press OK. So what we've done here, now we have two bodies. We have the outside of the wheel and we have the inside of the wheel. We will call this inside of the wheel the rim, right? And we'll call this outside tire. Is that what it's called? Tire? Yeah. Right. So now we have the tire and we have the rim. But the unfortunate thing is the tire is still the whole size, so it's still not correct. So what we need to do is we need to remove that inside part of the tire. How we're going to do that is we're going to use the combine tool. Now I know the word combine makes you think, you know, pen, pineapple, pen, link two things together, right? But combine in Fusion means I want this object to interact with this object. I want their properties to affect each other. So we're going to press combine. And what I'm saying is this outside body, the tire, we want it to combine with the tool body, which is the inside. Now the operation by default is join, so connect these things together, but that's not what I want. Just like with the extrusion, I want to cut the outside tire from the inside tire. 20, it's 20 thick.
So which one's 20 thick?
No, the rectangle you did before. Oh, the extrusion was also 20 thick.
20, the outside.
Yes. Yeah.
The outside, the inside.
Now, if I just press OK here, what's going to happen is it's going to remove the rim. The rim will disappear. Right? So if we don't want the rim to disappear, we have to, over here, we have to press Keep Tools, which means we want the rim to still exist. And then we'll press OK. And what that leaves us with, look, we have the tire and we have the rim. We can see that if we hide the rim, ooh, there's our tire. And ooh, we have the inside rim.
I don't know what minus 5 is, but I'm moving that way, I was moving this way.
So for this particular part, I'm not going to be able to pause anymore because time-wise, I'm just going to do it. And then at the end, I'll upload it and you can watch it. But at this point, you should be able to have made your core flute and part of your tires. And then we'll probably, I don't know, you're going to attach the tires to your car. You can move it around. So we have this over here. We want to make some grooves. And then after do all that, we'll change the color. So I'm going to hide the rim for this particular part. I'm going to press sketching. Now this one, I am going to press this sketching plane over here. I want to make the grooves and I also want to make the outsides of the tires slightly curved. What I'm going to do is I need to use this shape to my planning. So I'm going to say project and include. I'm going to say project and I'm going to project this shape. I'll press OK. So now I have these corners. I am going to use the filleting tool to make little roundings on the edge here. Fillet tool, I can press. Are we going to load up? Maybe it doesn't. Hold on. So hold on. Before I do that, I might have to manually make some lines here. Right. I just manually make some lines, and then I'll press the fillet tool. And if I press this edge and this edge, I can make a fillet. And let's make this fillet 0.5. Okay. And I want to do the same over here, fillet over here and here. Oh, fillet tool.
How do you get the edges? Do you the sketch dimension?
0.5. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do these little grooves in the middle of the tire. How we're going to do those grooves is we are going to just make a tiny, tiny little rectangle like this. 0.1 millimeter deep. Let's say, how thick are these little grooves? These grooves are 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter. And I'll do the...
So do you do that for the bottom as well?
We're just doing the top and I'm going to revolve it around. Because we're doing the same tool. We're basically cutting this out of our drawing. Now for this one, I'm going to do extent instead of spacing because I want to have it fitting inside the wheel. And let's just say I increase the number to 5. And then I press OK. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide the tire just so you can visibly see what's happening here. I have these little cuts here. Okay. I'm going to finish the sketch. I'm then going to go to my Revolve tool and I'm going to select this. This one, there's no real easier way to do it. Click in these little shapes over here. So now I've selected these shapes. I'm going to unhide my tire and I'm going to do the axis of rotation. And I'm going to select, for the axis of rotation, you don't have to physically pick a line. You can also pick, anytime there's a cylinder or a circle, they also have an axis as well. So I can actually just hover my mouse over the outside of the tire. And now look at this, it's cutting out these holes into the tire.
So cool, what the hell?
And I press OK. And look at that, oof. Grooves. Now that's becoming looking like a tire, yeah. Now, okay, cool, that looks cool.
How the hell did you spell it?
Now how do I make this look nice? Yeah, add some holes. So we're going to do this star, we'll do this star shape first, and then we're going to do the same revolve tool. So same thing, we'll sketch over here. I'm just going to guess some lengths over here. We're going to offset over here. We'll do the same. We'll do -4 for this one. Yeah, I'm just, actually, let me actually get the dimensions. Nah, this part over here is 3.5. But this stuff, you're going to measure it yourself. -3.5, cool. And then it's got some sort of, thing here. This pentagon in the middle is about 10 millimeters. Cool. And then there is some sort of shape going like here. So what we're doing here is I'm doing this pentagon shape for on our wheel. And we're going to use the Revolve circular pattern tool. Oh, it's Mercedes. So then we'll just press OK. And then we'll finish that sketch. So what we're doing here is this is going to be, we want to cut out these particular holes in our drawing. So we're just going to do the same thing. We'll go to Extrude and we'll just press those and boom, cut that out. Cool. That's the star parts on the wheel. And also now we have to worry about this interior part as well. So for that, we're going to press sketch. Done. And what we'll do for this one is we are just going to draw some lines that match. So I think this is about 1 millimeter thick over here. And then it goes about is that about right? No, it's about 8. It's about 18. What's the diameter of this hole? The diameter of the hole is 2, and the main shaft is 6. So now this is going to be 3, which is half of 6. And this inside part is 2, so I think it's a 1.5. So 1.5. So now I'm going to start. I'm going to be revolving this as well. And before we do the revolve, it's not the perfect shape we want yet. I want to remove this part over here. So when a feature that I haven't shown you yet in the sketching is the trim feature. So if I want to just remove this line over here, I go to trim, and what trim does is you hover over particular parts you want to get rid of. So I just want to get rid of this line over here. Notice when I hover over it, there's red. Can you see red on the projector? Yeah, I think it's because blue and a red line overlapping, but when I do that, boom, disappeared. Now let me just confirm it's a closed surface. I'll hide the rim. I want to hide this out. What sketch is that? No, should be. So we'll go finish sketch. And then we will go to revolve. We'll press this particular surface. All right, ready for the best magic you've seen? All right, ready? We're going to revolve it around this particular axis. But we don't want cut. We're going to use the intersect tool again. Are you ready for this? Ready for this? Ready? 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 Boom! Ooh, yes. And let's see the tire. Ooh, yes. Let's go make some materials, physical material. So I'm pretty sure you have rubber. We have rubber, yes. Rubber black. Nice. And I think under metals, this is supposed to look like chrome, right? So let's get some chrome rims. We may have to actually, no, we can't because it's actually made out of plastic for the weight, right? So what we're going to do is we'll use white plastic for now, and then we'll close this. But what we'll do is for the rims, we'll actually change the appearance. And we'll get some chrome rims, right? Sheesh! Yeah. So, now before we finish this, so you can continue working on this part for yourself, when we unhide this, ooh, brother, ooh, what's that, brother, right? What's wrong with this drawing? It's inside, yes. So what we're going to do is we are going to modify, we're going to have to move and copy this object, right? So we'll press move. We're going to select the bodies we want to move, so we can press under selection. We're going to press, we want the tire and we want the rim, right? And then we can use these arrows to like move it around. Right? We can move them visually for now, but later in our drawing, Later in our drawings, when we actually have like the axles, we can align them perfectly later. But for now, we can just use this feature of moving it. We can either move it by the arrows, right? Or if we align it to the front, we can also press this rectangle and it moves it in the plane. So we say we want this particular tire to go there, right? And just let me check the other length. Is it good from this view? It's not good in this view yet, so I'm just going to drag it. We want it to be like, yeah, that's probably right. Press OK. Now, all right, what's the next step for this car to be complete? Is one wheel enough?
I think you copy and paste 4 wheels.
You got it, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll highlight. So we'll go to modify. When we do move and it's move/copy, so we'll press move/copy. We'll select the 2 tires we want. Before you move it, you have to press the create a copy button. So now we can move it. Now we can do it. So we go here. We have another copy. So for this one, let's just go. We have this over here, and when I press enter, cool, tire 1, tire 2, we can do the same thing. We can go move and copy, and we can actually press all our bodies. We can press 1, 2, 3, 4. We can move and copy these. Now these ones, we can actually flip them this way. We can name them later, but yeah, it's because it's the copies, right? Right, so now that's starting to look like an actual car, right? Once we get our car and we like it and we save it, we can go to our design feature and we can go to render, and that's going to give us like a 3D version of the car. So we'll look at the car that I did last year. Over here, the car I did last year, obviously I did more details. I added the motor, but the motor's the same. We're just drawing the shapes, right? We haven't really done this tube. I'll see if I have time. I think if you look at my old last year's tutorials, I showed how to do the motors and the pulley. But I already rendered these from last year, while at the beginning of the presentation. So if I go to render, they should have loaded up. And as these don't even look as good as last year's one, so as our current one. But if we load it up, I think this year's tires look better. So now we have the nice 3D car over there. Can I zoom in? So there's the car. Cool. And like your tower, you can also put this into drawing. We can also turn this. Yeah, it can automatically do the orthographic drawing of all the shapes we made. Yeah, always use Fusion for orthographic. And enter. Bam, orthographic drawing's done. Look at that. Ooh. The wheels have these multiple lines because I didn't exactly copy the wheels over properly. But we see here, the orthographic drawings and a 3D drawing to the side. And remember, you have to save your work on Fusion before the lesson ends or before you shut it down, because it has to upload it to the cloud or you will lose all the details. So now that we have 4 minutes left in class, Can you please save your work now? I'm going to end the tutorial. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for Big J's YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and then put some comments down. Yeah, cheers, boys.
All right, bye-bye.